Hey everyone, this is Pete. Welcome to Atari A to Z, an exploration of the Atari 8-bits library of games, some of which I grew up with and some of which are new to me. Today is one of the former. This is Juice by RT. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that name, but he also did quite a well-regarded game called Kid Grid. And this was published by Tronix Incorporated. This game is basically kind of an homage to Q Bert. And it's got a few twists on the formula, as you'll see in a moment. So, one noteworthy thing about this is that it had quite an interesting amount of customization you could do. So, standard play, you have to deal with all of those characters that you see at the top, and you'll come across those. But there's also practice modes where you can turn off specific enemies, or turn off all of the enemies altogether. And you can also start at particular levels up to number 6 as well. We'll go for a standard game from the beginning. The concept of Juice is, I believe anyway, you are an electrician and you are laying down cables. Not like that. But you do this by jumping on each square of the board. And that puts a bit of wire there. And your eventual aim is to... Oh dear! And your eventual aim is to just cover the entire board in wires, basically. Meanwhile... all of those baddies are doing their thing to try and stop you. And like in Q Bert, each of those baddies have their own distinctive way of moving. And so you can use that to your advantage. So the little dudes, they just hop straight down the board. The egg thing that's going there, that jumps towards the bottom, and then it hatches into this springy thing, which you can trick by jumping onto one of those teleporters and forcing it to fall off the side of the stage. And a bit later on there's a sort of spark-like thing that appears as well. And as you progress through the game, you'll get situations where you need to jump on each tile more than once, where some enemies are able to sort of erase the wires that you've drawn on the tiles and such like as well. So it starts pretty simple and it gradually increases in complexity as you go through. So you can see how it's an interesting twist on Q Bert. So rather than being sort of a pyramid like Q Bert is, in this we've got a straight, flat, isometric platform, oh dear, to jump around on. And that gives it a slightly different feel. It also makes it quite easy to judge where you're going as well. So isometric isn't always the easiest perspective to get on with, but oh no. But in this game, it keeps things pretty clear. Ah, there's the spark. You see what that's doing? That's burning out the wires. Doing terribly. Which means that you don't have to go and jump on them all again. Which is annoying. So this is a bonus stage in which I don't really remember. I think you just have to cover it as quickly as possible. Or at the very least, as much of it as you can. Or do we have to actually connect the two sides? I think that might be it. I think we might have to actually connect the two sides by... yeah, there we are. You have to connect the start point to the end point, so a bit like Pipe Mania. So on to the second level now. So now we have to jump on each tile twice in order to actually lay the wire down. And obviously you've got that dickhead coming along, screwing with all your hard work. Oh, and him as well. I can't remember what he does. I think he might just bounce around and be awkward. Oh! Dead. There we go. Anyway, that's Juice by Tronix. That's a fun game. I always really liked this when I was a kid, and I still like it now. So if you like Q Bert and you want to play something that's a bit like Q Bert but not Q Bert, then Juice should be your go-to. Also, it's called Juice with an exclamation mark, which is something I'd rather like. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.